Hello YouTube. In this video today we're gonna talk about how radio has been a demise, as well as the way the secondhand music market has become a train wreck in some formats. Like what you see before you is a JVC boombox from the 90s. 1991 to be exact, has a dual CD player, AM/FM tuner, and a dual cassette deck, and detachable speakers. But we're going to talk about the state of FM radio as a whole. A lot of times with FM stations, they tend to hire a lot of consultants that really decide what the music is, and also sometimes they kind of falsely advertise what their format really is. Like, when I think of a classic rock station, usually I think of the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, but recently on some classic rock stations, I've been starting to hear stuff from the 90s and 2000s, which it sounds more like shouting than it does rock and roll music. And when you listen to a country station or something that calls itself a country station, it sounds more like what I call tractor rap, and essentially country mixed with hip hop, and not necessarily real country. Like, I don't get why people would rather hear Foo Fighters and Luke Combs over Led Zeppelin and Lynyrd Skynyrd and that kind of stuff. It seems people more want shouting and rapping and political music rather than the good stuff. And really the only station I listen to on FM as of today is on 88.3 KCCK in Cedar Rapids. And they play some very good mix of music, and it's mainly jazz, but it's good quality music, and it's old school and a bit of new school mixed in as well. And they don't do a lot of bad commercials that are political or fake news or anything like that. They only state facts and not opinions when they do those breaks. And they do also get sponsors, like people that actually care about the station rather than getting money, and like the music too, and even organizations that have local events and festivals in the area. But whenever I want to listen to oldies, usually either I try to find a station at night or find one locally in the daytime that plays such things. Like, even some of the stations around here that play the era of music I like, they don't play it like 24/7. It's mainly they may do it during certain times, and then they have either church services or sports kind of mixed in as well on their stations. And that's very interesting. Like, even Christian music nowadays is not like it used to be. Like, I like country gospel music, but this newer type of gospel music that you hear on K-Love or Air One is just repetitive and boring and not a pleasure to listen to. And I feel the only way the station makes any money is when those stations make any money is when preachers buy airtime on those stations. And it's essentially what I feel like a waste of energy and wattage and stuff like that. And it's very interesting how people's tastes have changed. Like, if there's a station, say on 107.9, that plays shouting rock or screaming rock or whatever it's called, metal, modern rock, or as I call it, why would you play it on a station that's supposed to be older rock from decades before? And I think I have why that is. I think the station managers also are like, I run a business and I gotta make decisions that are gonna sell for us and gonna make us the most revenue and ratings. And it seems like some of the AM stations, I don't listen to them as often except for severe weather warnings and sports, when the football and basketball, baseball games are on. But for the most part, there is a country station on the lowest part of the dial on 540 kWMT that can be received during the day. They play a lot of really good country all day, all the time. And it's classic country, as I call it. It's like legends, real people that really like the rural stuff. Nothing political about it or rapping or anything. And anyway, I'll do a quick band scan for you on FM to show you what it's really like. Here's the lowest part. That's our jazz station. Try to run, but still you can. That should be our college station somewhere. Either that's religious or college, I don't know. I think that's the college station. That was a religious station, I think.
The measure passed after weeks of gamesmanship on Capitol Hill. Speaking from the Oval Office for the first time since his election, Biden called the bill's passage.
I'll come back to that. Looks like it's a windbag news break. Looks like our classical station on 91.7. Sounds like either gospel or country, something in there.
Relevant radio is supported by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. Protect
low power gospel religious station.
And along with the higher jobless rate, slowing wage growth is helping offset
There's some station, a classic hit station.
When you do that with journaling, it's right there in front of you. And also, that daily dose of...
Which means you'll get no repeats, 32 songs across 2 shows that are all distinct. It's a pretty amazing thing that not many bands could pull off, but yeah, Metallica, they're not most bands. So let's get
Funny
into it.
enough.
In Paris on May 19th, just a couple of weeks ago. This is Harvester of Sorrow. Ultimate Metallica starts now.
Like, this is classic rock, and they're playing shouting rock like Metallica on here, which I really don't like as much. And there's another, like I said, this is not classic rock, this is modern rock. And I think I know this, like I said, Foo Fighters, they're playing Foo Fighters. Like, why is this classic rock? I don't get why. Sounds like something. I don't know what that is.
Cedar Rapids, KKSY.
That is modern country music right there.
If I could buy a house on memory lane,
like I said, it sounds more like tractor rap. Now this right here is actually my funny story. I got a Retekis FM modulator on Facebook Marketplace because I was fed up with all this stuff being played on most stations these days, and I essentially transferred some of my CDs to a USB flash drive, and this is how I listen to my music, even though the modulation is kind of quiet even with the max settings. And there's another country station that's, like I said, it sounds like tractor rap. This is our 80s station that plays 80s all the time, but some 80s music I can tolerate, but not all of it. Just depends. And this is what classifies as pop music. Like, I have to turn the volume down because I don't like this pop music. It sounds a lot like mumble rap. Because, like, I don't like the sounds and instruments used. It's just not real. Like, most pop musicians, they just do it for money and not for likes. And this is what classifies as gospel music today. This is not what I call gospel. Like, it sounds like trash.
Double by Gurriel. That was on Arizona Sports 98.7 FM, D-backs radio.
That's sports station on FM.
Morning Scramble with Claire.
We're not even the heroes of our own story. But we were there and we were like, oh, go!
Sidekicks. And Eric.
Sidekicks and cheerleaders.
So this is another pop station.
Sidekicks and cheerleaders. Exactly who we are.
But sometimes they do play older pop from the 2000s and 2010s. Not sure about this. But once I figure out that the lyrics are so messed up, I essentially turn it down. Something else, a country station most likely. This is a classic hit station or an adult contemporary station. Just depends. Like, this is a good example of a good song. Like, early 2010s pop music was better. Same with 2000s pop. Like, I don't see... It seems that the better pop music is on adult contemporary stations rather than modern top 40 stations. Another country station. Talking about robbing a bank. Not my thing. Not sure what that is. Another adult contemporary station, but it's better, tolerable, but not really.
2 or more homers in a start, and that's the most.
Another sports station.
In his
Our only Spanish-speaking station in the area. And this is the station I was talking about with the modern rock music. Like, why is it that the modern rock can't stay on here? Now it's coming on the classic rock stations. Well, like I said, they just want money. They don't care about the listeners. So, that was the band scan. So, now I'm going to talk about the current state of secondhand media. Back in the old days, most people could go to just about any thrift store, yard sale, flea market, and buy records for cheap. But nowadays, a lot more music stores are charging premium prices for records because, oh, they made a comeback. The stores are selling them again, like Walmart and Target and Barnes and Noble. So therefore, any used stuff we get, we should mark up for the same, almost the same prices as they're selling them for. So, anyway, the fact that records have become more expensive makes it harder to enjoy something like that. Also, they're not as portable. You can't really take them with you. I mean, there are portable record players, but they're kind of a pain to lug around. But also, when you're buying something used, you're not supporting the artists. And when you're buying something new, you are supporting the artists in the sales that are made. But yeah, aside from that, also, I've noticed a lot of thrift stores, particularly Goodwill, is sometimes upcharging for records that are actually worth listening to. But not to mention they are ruining the jacket by putting a big old sticker or writing on it with a Sharpie on it, which I really don't like. Why are you upcharging for something when you're degrading the value of it at the same time? I'm guessing it's because so their CEO can make more money. But I still shop at Goodwill, but not for records. I've started getting into CDs though, because I can go to just about any yard sale or thrift store or flea market or estate sale and typically find these for $1 or less. Although some like music stores like Half Price Books and local record shops may still charge more for these, but if it's cheap and it's music I like, I'll pick it up. And I wish there were more of this kind of stuff on the radio these days. Like, it's music to my ears. The nice thing is, as long as I have the equipment and means to play them, then that works just fine. But if I don't have the means to play these and hear the good music, it's like what you hear on the radio. They don't want you to discover the good music. They only want you to hear what's new and all that, whereas there aren't many radio stations that play the older music. But like I said, I like CDs. They're physical media. They're portable. They make portable CD players. And they're kind of getting retro these days. They originally came out in the early 80s. And have never died off. They just kind of lost popularity over time. You can still buy new albums on CDs, and you always were able to buy album on CD. But not many people were doing that because most people would rather just throw money away with streaming services like Spotify and Pandora and stuff like that. And also, I don't listen to a lot of music on YouTube because essentially ads run on there. They're caked with them. And essentially, some of the ads really make me upset, or even the shorts that are the videos. Like, I remember seeing a video or the song Sam and Dave, Hold On, I'm Coming, and in a short remixing the video featured former President Donald Trump. And I just feel sad that people take a song that's a masterpiece and make it have a different meaning than what it originally did. Mind you that Sam and Dave were African American, and with all the Black Lives Matter stuff going on these days, I feel sad of what people would do to a good song. Although I don't like Trump, I mean, I like Biden better than Trump, but he's just okay. And hopefully we can elect politicians that know about that know how to run a country and have had experience in the realm of politicalness, and not just some greedy person who wants business, who wants people's money, who wants to take people's money, steal people's money, incite violence, kill black people, that kind of stuff. But moving on, like CDs are just real cheap these days if you go to thrift stores, because I find a lot of oldies compilations. These are just the few that I pulled out, and essentially, if I'm getting 20, 30, sometimes even double CDs can have 40 songs at most. I could, if I'm getting all the songs for one good price, like I'll just use this one as an example. 23 songs for, let's say Goodwill sells these for 88 cents. That's probably only a few cents per song on this disc versus the amount you would pay if you got ad-free Spotify, or even if you bought this on iTunes. And essentially with Spotify and any other streaming service, you're not supporting the artists. They're letting you listen to your music for free, whether it be with commercials, even without commercials. If you're paying for it, Spotify is mainly getting most of the money. The artists don't get as much, whereas if you buy their music, they're getting much of the money. Whereas if you do it on the Spotify route, it's not the same. But anyway, I've noticed that sometimes even antique stores sometimes have stuff in their shop. Like there's this one shop locally, I'm not going to name it, that has a lot of hi-fi equipment and records and stuff like that. But one time I saw a little Sony Discman, the original Discman from the 80s, and he had it out on the sales floor. I asked him how much it was, and he said it was not for sale, saying that, oh, I used that for testing out equipment in the store, and that was that. I don't get why you even have it out on display to begin with if you're not selling it. It should probably not even be out on the sales floor, even here, if you don't want it to be sold. But anyway, if any of you like collecting CDs or want some cheap music to own, go to your local thrift stores. Happy hunting. End of rant. Peace out.